If you woke up tomorrow and could speak English as easily as you breathe, what would your life look like? Would you finally stand on that stage, share your ideas with the world, and feel every word flow effortlessly? Would you travel to another country, order your favorite meal, laugh with the locals, and feel like you truly belong anywhere? Or maybe you call an old friend living overseas, catch up on life and hear them say, "Bow wow. You sound amazing." I want you to picture that. For a moment, hold it in your mind. Because that version of you, the one who speaks English with confidence and ease, is not a dream. It is not something only but lucky people have. It is a skill you can build and it can start today. My name is John, and this is Focus English Audio. I've met countless learners who understand English well, yet freeze when it's time to speak. They say, "Bah, John, I know the words, I understand the sentences, but when I try to speak, my mind goes blank." I know that feeling. It's been frustrating. It makes you doubt yourself, but I also know something powerful. You can break through that wall. Once you do, English will stop being a school subject you struggle with and start being a living part of your daily life. The first thing we need to do is change how you think about English. Too many learners wait until they feel perfect before they start speaking. But herein the truth, perfection never comes first. Speaking comes first. Perfection grows later. Waiting until you but know enough is like waiting for the ocean to be calm before you learn to swim. You have to get in the water. You have to start speaking now. Another habit that holds learners back is translating everything in their head. You hear English. You turn it into your native language. You think of your answer, and then you try to translate it back. By the time you're ready, the conversation has already moved on. This is why you must learn to think directly in English. At first, it will feel strange, even slow. But every time you do it, you are training your brain to make English automatic. Begin small. Look around your room and describe what you see. The window is open. My phone is on the desk. I'm drinking coffee. Speak these thoughts out loud. Use an English dictionary. Replay translation with connection. Will connect English words directly to meaning, not to your native language. Another trap is focusing too much on grammar before you speak. Grammar is important, but it should be your tool, not your master. Native speakers don't stop mid-sentence to think about the past. Perfect tense, they simply speak. And you can too use the grammar you already know. Over time, your grammar will improve naturally through listening and real conversation, not just from studying rules. Then there is vocabulary. Many learners keep long lists of words they never actually use. They memorize. Apoy. Buzz. When they need it. Itching gone. That because the brain doesn't to hold on to words without real connection. Learn fewer words, but use them more often. Focus on phrases, not single words. Instead of just learning meeting. I have a meeting tomorrow morning. Use that phrase in your daily life. Even if you are talking to yourself, repetition in real situations makes words stick. And herein the biggest barrier, fear. Fear of making mistakes, of being judged, of sounding wrong. This fear is the wall between you and fluency. But mistakes are not the enemy. They are your stepping stones. Every fluent speaker you admire has made thousands of mistakes. You have to speak even when you unsure, even when your grammar isn't too perfect. Speak, learn, adjust, and speak again. Finally, therein listening. If you want to speak fluently, you must listen a lot. Listening shapes your pronunciation, rhythm, and understanding. Make English the soundtrack of your life. Listen to dope. Watch movies. Hear songs. Follow conversations. Seung in the background while you cook or clean. Sado what you hear. Repeat words and phrases exactly as the speaker says them. This builds your speaking muscles faster than you think. Fluency doesn't happen in 1 week. It grows like a tree. Slow, steady, rooted in daily practice. Consistency is your greatest weapon. 15 minutes every single day is better than 2 hours once a week. Set a time, stick to it, and let English become part of your daily rhythm. This is the start of your journey, and it begins now. So, imagine that future again, new version of you who speaks English freely, without fear. Keep that vision alive. Because in the next parts, I'm going to give you the exact steps to make it real. And if you stay with me, you will discover that the distance between you now and that confident English speaker is smaller than you think. Now that you understand the first mindset shifts you need to make, let you dive deeper into the practical actions that will actually turn your English into something natural and alive. Think of this part as building the foundation of a house. You can see it from the outside, but without it, nothing will stand. The first thing you need is a daily routine. It doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need expensive tools or a special environment. You just need a small set of habits that you repeat every day without fail. For example, choose one short podcast or YouTube channel you enjoy and listen to it every morning while you are making breakfast. Don't worry if you don't understand everything. Just let the sound of English enter your ears. 5. Over time, you will start catching more and more words without trying. Then add speaking practice to your day. This can be with a language partner, a tutor, or even by talking to yourself. The important thing is to speak out loud. Reading silently does to train your mouth. Thinking in English is good, but speaking is where fluency comes alive. Another key step is to create an English corner in your life. Surround yourself with the language. Change your phone and computer settings to English. Follow English-speaking creators on social media. Place sticky notes on objects around your home with their names in English. Miro, bo, do, bo, fridge. The 5. This constant exposure builds familiarity and reduces the mental gap between learning English and living in English. Next, make your learning emotional memory is tied to feeling. If something makes you laugh, cry, or feel inspired, you remember it more. So choose content that excites you. Watch shows you love. Read about topics that matter to you. Listen to music that moves you. Don't just study English. Feel it. And while we were talking about emotion, let you talk about patience. Too many learners give up because they don't see results fast enough. But fluency is not a sprint. A marathon. Think of it like planting a seed. You water it every day, but you don't see the plant immediately. That doesn't mean nothing is happening. Your brain is growing new connections. Your mouth is getting used to new sounds. One day, without even realizing it, you would find yourself speaking with ease. Another powerful habit is shadowing. This means listening to a native speaker and repeating exactly what they say, in real time matching their tone, speed, and rhythm. It's not about understanding every single word at first. It's about training your brain and mouth to work together. Shadowing is like a gym workout for your speaking muscles. Do it for 5 to 10 minutes a day, and you will notice huge changes in how natural your speech sounds. And don't forget to record yourself. Many learners avoid this because they feel uncomfortable hearing their own voice. But recording is one of the fastest ways to improve. You hear mistakes you didn't notice before. You compare your pronunciation to native speakers. You track your progress over time. Trust me, it works. Now, let's address something important. Your inner voice. Many learners have a little critic inside their head saying, "But you sound bad," or "But you'll never be fluent." That voice is lying to you. It's just fear disguised as truth. You have to replace it with a new voice. Noon that says, "But I'm learning. I'm improving. I'm doing better every day." Because the way you speak to yourself matters just as much as the way you speak to others. By now, you can see that fluency is not magic. It is not about having bold talent or living abroad. It isn't about showing up every day, even when you don't to feel like it. It's about building habits that keep you moving forward. And in the next part, we will go deeper into the mistakes that can secretly slow you down and how to replace them with habits that push you closer to fluency every single day. Now let's talk about the hidden traps that keep many learners stuck for years. These are habits that feel safe, but secretly stop your growth. The first trap is perfectionism. You might think that waiting until you will know enough before speaking will protect you from mistakes, but the truth is, it does the opposite. The longer you wait, the more you feed the fear of making errors. Real progress comes when you speak before you feel ready. Imagine a child learning their first language. They don't wait until they know all the rules before talking. They speak, they get things wrong, they get corrected, and they keep going. That's how you learned your first language. And that's how you will learn English too. The second trap is passive learning. This happens when you watch English videos, listen to doped, or read books, but you never use what you both learned. You might feel like you are studying, but your brain isn't to building the connections needed for fluency. The solution is active practice. Repeat what you hear, answer questions out loud, write down new phrases, and use them the same day. Another trap is overloading your brain. Some learners collect grammar, rules, vocabulary lists, and advanced expressions, thinking that more is always better. But fluency is not about how many words you know, about how many you can use without thinking. A smaller, active vocabulary will take you much further than a huge list of unused words. Focus on depth, not just quantity. And herein a subtle trap, comparison. Looking at others and thinking, but they live better than me, so I would never catch up. You don't just see the years they've spent practicing, the mistakes they've made, or the doubts they've faced. Your only competition is yourself. If you speak better today than you did a month ago, you're winning. Finally, beware of the all or nothing mindset. Many learners think, but if I can't study for an hour, I want to study at all. This kills consistency. Even 5 minutes of focused speaking or listening can move you forward. The brain loves frequency more than length. The more often you touch the language, the stronger your fluency becomes. In the next part, I will give you the tools to break these habits and replace them with systems that make learning not only effective, but also enjoyable. Also, you would want to keep going day after day. Now it's time to equip yourself with strategies that make English a natural part of your life. So you not just learning it, you're leaving it. The first strategy is the immersion mindset. You might not live in an English-speaking country, but you can still create an English world around you. Change your entertainment to English. Watch movies without dubbing. Read news articles in English. Set your phone language to English. The more you immerse yourself, the more your brain adapts. The second strategy is both speed to think. Instead of thinking in your native language and translating, start forming thoughts in English directly. At first, this will feel slow, but over time, it becomes automatic. Start small. Describe what you see. Narrate your actions. Talk about your day in English. The third strategy is using trigger moments. These are points in your daily routine when you automatically practice English. For example, every time you brush your teeth, you speak 2 sentences out loud. Every time you make coffee, you listen to 2 minutes of a podcast. Linking English practice to habits you already have makes it easier to stay consistent. The fourth strategy is both real talk practice. Reading and listening are important, but they don't replace actual conversation. You can find conversation partners online, join virtual meetups, or even practice with AI chat tools that let you speak and get feedback instantly. The key is to talk to someone, not just yourself, so you can adapt to the unpredictability of real conversation. Another strategy is delayed correction. When you speak, don't stop mid-sentence to fix mistakes. that breaks your flow and confidence. Instead, keep going. Later, review what you said and note the errors. This way, you stay focused on communication in the moment and improve accuracy afterward. And finally, reward yourself. After a week of daily practice, treat yourself to something small but enjoyable. Nab favorite snack, a walk in the park, a movie night. Celebrating keeps your motivation alive. These strategies are not magic, but when you apply them consistently, they create astamo momentum. In the next part, I will give you the mindset to make sure you never lose that momentum, even when life gets busy or motivation fades. We talked about techniques, habits, and traps, but now we arrive at the most powerful part of the journey, your mindset for the long run. Because fluency is not just about what you do, it's about how you think while doing it. The first mindset shift is to see mistakes as evidence of progress, not failure. Every error means you are pushing your limit. The second is to value the journey more than the destination. If you only care about being you miss the joy of each small improvement. The third is to accept that there will be ups and downs. Some days you will feel untable, other days you will feel stuck. Both are part of the process. The fourth is to believe that your effort compounds over time. Every minute of listening, every word spoken, every conversation, all adds up. The fifth is to keep your why alive. Ask yourself regularly, why do I want to speak English fluently? Is it for travel, career, friendship, self-expression? The clearer your reason, the stronger your motivation. And herein my final reminder. You already have what it takes. You don't need to wait for a perfect day, a perfect course, or a perfect accent. You just need to keep showing up even when it's messy, even when it's slow. One day you will look back and realize that the person who once doubted, hesitated, and translated every word has become someone who speaks with ease, confidence, and joy. And that day will not feel like a finish line. It will feel like the beginning of an entirely new life.